United True is Poetic, good morning. And in the house right now, I have Steve, who's representing Zabriskie Law. And a lot of our listeners have questions about do's and don'ts whenever it's involving police. And I know we want to ask you as a professional. One question I have in mind is, do you have to have the cops come into your house if they want it without a warrant? Or how does that work?
That's a good question. Thanks for having me here. If the cops show up at your house, you do not have to let them in. So my best advice is if they show up at your house, you start opening the door, you see them there, you step outside. Shut the door behind you. You don't want to let them in. Have that conversation on the front porch. Because once you open the door, cops are trained to just step inside your home. They want to have that conversation inside and start looking around. That's what they're trained to do. So you want to avoid allowing them any entry. You may not voluntarily be letting them in, but they're going to say later, oh, well, they opened the door and just let us in. So you want to avoid allowing them into your home. You want to ask them, do you have a warrant? Why are you here? Most of all, be nice. That's always key.
Right, that's always, I think that's the most common sense thing you want to do with it.
Absolutely. You've got to be nice to them. But you're fully within your rights to ask them what they're there for, what brought the call out, and to establish if they have a basis to be there. But you don't have to let them into your home unless they have a warrant. And they have to give you that warrant so you can review it. They may be able to go through your house and they can detain you while they execute a warrant. But if they do have that, they will set you off to the side and go about their business. But if they don't have one, you can say, sorry guys, you don't get access to my house. You can go about your business. Have a nice day. See ya.
People that are on, let's say, Ambien, you know what I mean? They need some help to get to bed. And I know some people that are busy all day. Their mind is still going. They need a sleep aid. And like Ambien, then all of a sudden in the middle of the night, let's say they take off, maybe to the store. They got the money, they don't even know it, but they're just doing these things. Do they have a case when they have to explain that to the judge?
That is a tough one. There's not much of a defense when it's Ambien. You can get charged with DUI for prescription medication. And Ambien is one of those dangerous drugs that we see. Many people, like you said, they go for the store in the middle of the night. Half the time they don't even remember that they went. They wake up, they remember something at the jail later and say, why in the heck am I even here?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
But yeah, if a prescription medication will impair your ability to operate a vehicle, then you can be charged with a DUI. I tell people, hey, if you're taking Ambien, stick your keys somewhere where you'll know where they are in the morning. But
just leave them alone. Try to hide them from yourself.
Exactly, where you're not going to take off in the middle of the night. I've seen a lot of DUIs on Ambien and people who don't realize that they've even driven.
Yeah.
So be careful on that. I mean, if you're married, you've got people around you, and they know you take Ambien, have somebody else hang on to your keys.
Yeah.
That's usually the safest bet because you can be charged for that prescription medication DUI. I mean, it's alcohol or drugs is the way the statute reads. And even though it's a prescription medication, it's still a drug.
Yeah. Either way, whatever you're dealing with, they got to give you a call, man.
Absolutely.
Let them know, and then you do free consultations. So we're not talking about cash up front. We want to hear about the case and see if you got something for them.
That's right. Give us a call. We'll talk about it. Let's see what we can do for you.
888-ZABRISK, also Zabriskie.com. Let's say someone gets pulled over. How about if they ask you for a breathalyzer? Do you have to take a breathalyzer test?
Technically, you can refuse. That is your choice. Now, when you get pulled over and they suspect you of being driving under the influence, Utah is, once you get your driver's license, Utah is called an implied consent state. Once you get your driver's license, you have given implied consent that you will give a breath test. Now, if you refuse to give it, understand you're going to get your driver's license revoked.
Okay.
On the first time they ask and you say no, the driver's license division is going to revoke your license for 18 months. You can say no. I don't recommend it. Definitely don't.
You want to do that? Yeah.
No, but you can say no. It's better to take the test and then let the attorneys challenge the legalities of the test. There may be issues with the testing instrument. There may be issues with blood contamination. The officers may have done the test wrong. So there's plenty of options that we as attorneys can go after in how the test was done. But you're safer in not refusing the test.
Let's say somebody has a big mouth and they're dealing with cops. You know what I mean? They think they know everything. We see it all the time on like YouTube, where they get pulled over and they think they know the law already. What is your best advice for someone then?
My absolute best advice is keep your mouth shut. I've seen too many cases where a client has ruined any possible defense because they popped off thinking they could talk themselves out of it. Let us do the work. If you keep your mouth shut, people only talk themselves into a hole. They dig their grave deeper.
Yeah.
Usually. So my number one rule is keep your mouth shut. Just say, look, I want an attorney. I'm not talking.
Especially, I guess, if you're getting pulled over and they ask, why I pulled you over?
You say, no, officer, I don't. Because if you say, sure, yeah, I ran that red light. You just admitted to what you did.
No.
So don't admit to anything. Takes me to my number 2 rule is don't lie to the police. No matter what you do, they can lie to you.
They can lie to you.
Absolutely.
That's something I think our listeners would that cop lied to me.
Yeah.
And
we see it in prostitution cases, other things. Cops are undercover and people say, oh, are you a cop? Well, the cops can lie. They can say, no, I'm not a cop. But you cannot lie to the police. Otherwise, you get charged with a crime. You get charged for obstructing justice.
That's not right itself.
It doesn't seem so, but I agree. I should go both ways.
Yeah. We touched on the searching of your house without a warrant. How about when it's a vehicle and they're driving around and get pulled over? What's the bounds and all that with that?
Sure. If a cop says, hey, can I search your car? You get pulled over for a traffic violation and he just wants to search, you are well within your rights to say, no, officer, you can't. Now, there's some exceptions to that. If the officer says, hey, I smell marijuana, or he sees something illegal in your vehicle that's in plain view, then he's going to get to search. But if he asks for consent, you're well within your rights to say, no, you don't get to. He says, hey, can you pop the trunk? I want to take a look. You can say, no, I'm not going to do that. Can you please issue me my citation? I'd like to be on my way, please. Like I said, you always be nice, but you don't have to say yes. And by all means, don't say yes if you have something illegal in the car and they don't know. Come on, man. We see that too many times too. Don't give consent. They can always detain you and get a warrant. And if they have a reasonable suspicion that you're committing a crime, they're going to be able to search anyway under the automobile exception. So they'll get to search anyway.
I think that's just common sense. That if they smell marijuana, they're gonna search it anyways. Yep. I think that just comes to mind. We're talking about not lying to the cops. They have to be honest with you, more importantly, right?
Absolutely. One of my top rules is do not lie to your lawyer. Whether that's me or you have another attorney, don't lie to your lawyer. If you lie to me, you tell me one story, and then I get up in court and I'm making arguments based on information you've told me, and a prosecutor has information to the contrary, I'm going to look stupid. You as the client are going to look really stupid.
You look really dumb.
Yeah.
You have to slap yourself.
And that hurts my credibility, and that hurts your case. So don't lie to me. I can't help you if you're not going to be honest. I'd rather know about the problems ahead of time and be able to work through them instead of being blindsided in court.
Wow. This right here is such valuable information. You're getting it for free. If you really need to go in depth, if you have a case, if you need help, maybe question the law. If you got arrested for a crime and you know you didn't commit it, that's the most important thing. They should go ahead and holler at you, Steve, and your associates at Zabriskie Law. So go ahead and get at them, Zabriskie.com, and also the phone number again, man.
888-Zabriskie.
You can remember that, 888-Zabriskie. Hey, thanks again, Steve, for coming through.
Thanks for having me. It's been great.